Okay, so to recap, Michael Myers killed his sister at a young age, was sent to Smith's Grove Sanitarium, broke out 15 years later, killed a bunch of teens, was shot 6 times, went to a hospital to wreak more havoc, was shot in both eyes and burned to death. Then a man obsessed with Stonehenge tried to get people to wear masks so that a commercial would activate chips to kill anyone who wore them, and Ellie was a cyborg the whole time. Now, will Daniel be able to get that last TV station to stop that deadly commercial from airing? Can't wait to see if he succeeds. The movie will show us a bunch of Halloween decorations in a spooky-looking rural town that has absolutely nothing to do with the movie we're about to watch. I'm not sure I've ever seen a story by credit with 4 people attached to it. Like, screenplays, I get, even though it's super annoying. A number of people could come in and change things and punch up dialogue, but why does it take 4 people to come up with this story? Most of the story has already been told by the first 2 movies, and that leaves the idea of how do we get a popular, unkillable character back into a horror franchise. I mean, it's like Alan and a group of friends were sitting around at, I don't know, a spouse swapping party or something, and after everyone got good and laid, they went out onto the deck and started talking Halloween movies and came up with the bare bones premise of Halloween 4. And 3 of those people said, "Who's going to write this? I'm no writer." And then Alan piped up and said, "Guys, I've got y'all covered. I can remember all 3 things you guys came up with. I can take a crack at it and get you guys credit for the story."
Jesus.
This guy works at Smith's Grove and has apparently never encountered someone screaming before.
He murdered 16 people, maybe more, trying to get to his sister.
Excuse me, I'm gonna have to pretend to be shocked even though this is well-known Halloween lore at this point. What? His sister? The other 2 Michael Myers movies never mentioned that Laurie Strode was his sister? How can that even be? And so forth.
His doctor, of all people, shot him 6 times. Then he set him on fire. Both of them nearly burned to death.
For the record, this is what we're supposed to believe Michael Myers and Dr. Loomis survived.
Has he been prepped? Ready to go.
Why does Michael even need to be transferred? Who's clamoring for that to happen? Even if this institution doesn't want him anymore, why is Smith's Grove so eager to get him back? Later we hear vague stuff about he's a federal prisoner or whatever the filmmakers did to justify this transfer, but there really is no reason for it. We can see that Michael's face is bandaged up, and I'm sure badly burnt underneath, but if he's been in a coma for 10 years, why would his face still be bandaged up? It's been 10 goddamn years! I guess everyone forgot to bring their umbrella tonight during what looks like the rainiest evening in American history. I don't know, guys. Should we show the ambulance for a few seconds and then cut to them out on the road? Or should we try to add some unnecessary length to this movie by showing it drive all the way out of the frame and even a couple seconds after that? Guys? Is anyone in charge here?
Did Hoffman say anything about living relatives?
Yeah, a niece living in his hometown.
You know, the perfect place for relatives of Michael Myers to live. It's on the first page of the brochure. Also, I'm now always going to wonder if this attendant didn't mention the thing about the niece, what would Michael Myers have done once he took out the ambulance? Would he still go to Haddonfield and just randomly kill people on the off chance he's related to one of them? Or would he have taken a new lease on life and gone to Chicago to sell hot dogs in the summer and be the manager of a local spirit store during Halloween season? I guess we'll never know because this guy had to spill the beans about Jamie.
And she's too young to be his legal ward.
Wait, hold the up. Are you telling me that if Jamie was old enough to be Michael Myers' legal ward, they would place him in her care, even though he's responsible for the murders of all those people in the first 2 movies? Not to mention the person he was really jonesing to kill was his sister. But sure, Laurie's daughter would be totally safe keeping Michael in the guest room of her 3-bedroom, 2.5 bath Haddonfield starter home. Can you imagine those dinner conversations? Can we fast forward to when Jamie's in her 20s, make this happen and witness those dinner conversations ourselves? I want that movie. Jesus, either Michael Myers has been thumb-lifting kettlebells every day for the last 10 years, or this guy has a pre-existing hole in his skull. Really embarrassing his secret got exposed this way, but what are the chances? I really wish Halloween movies would quit introducing dogs, because we know Michael's going to kill that dog later, and we will be sad. As my Uncle Harry always said, kill all the horny teenagers you want, but leave the canines alone. I wasn't really sure what he was referring to because he had never seen a slasher film in his life. Who knows how Jamie is imagining this exact ambulance right now, considering that later on we find out it's crashed miles away from here. Jamie only has pictures of her mom circa 1978. Also, this picture is a shot of Laurie waiting on Annie to pick her up on Halloween night, 1978, for their babysitting jobs. Who the took this? Because there was no one around to take her picture in that scene. Also, even if it were possible for this picture to exist, why would Laurie be holding on to it or give it to Jamie? This is a picture taken just a few hours before what I assume was the worst night of Laurie's life prior to her death. What a weird memory to hold on to for your kid. Since everything here is either a dream or a delusion of some sort, I want to give major props to Jamie's unconscious for conjuring a jump scare that only a movie audience can see. Also, Jamie is envisioning a Michael Myers in her bedroom wearing a mask he will not steal from a Haddonfield drugstore until the next day. Also, this mask.
God bless Mommy and Daddy in heaven.
I don't know how to break it to you, Jamie, but your mother might not be in heaven. Slashists have pretty strict rules about people who participate in the use of illegal substances and premarital sex. And while we can't confirm the premarital sex, we do have documented evidence of your mother getting high while on her way to babysitting Tommy Doyle. I agree, she probably needed the weed to put up with Tommy Doyle, but them's the rules. You know, it really sucks when you're lucid dreaming and the monster does a lot of jerkwad practical jokes even then. I guessed wrong. I thought it was Labor Day.
It's Halloween. I mean, don't you want to get dressed up in a really scary costume and get some candy?
What f***ing costume are you getting on the day of Halloween? Back in 1988, I bet the only costume you could get on the day of Halloween was like a beat-up mask of Carlos from Menudo, if you're lucky. Also, what the f*** is wrong with Rachel? She brings up this suggestion to a little girl whose uncle killed a bunch of people on Halloween and tried to kill her mother twice in the same night. I'm shocked the Carruthers even celebrate Halloween now that they have Jamie. They were very close to Lori, too, if they were having her babysit Rachel when she was younger, and became Jamie's guardians after Lori's death.
We are talking about evil on two legs.
I can see this is useless.
In the original Halloween, it was understandable that people didn't believe Loomis when he said like this. Other than the murder of his sister, Michael's evil didn't seem any more special than Bob, my neighbor, who plays guitar in his house with his window open. But after a night where Michael killed 16 people and survived multiple gunshot wounds and burned to a crisp, you'd think people like Hoffman would have cared a lot more. Just want to point out that the officers that got the call saw all of this carnage and thought it was just simply...
He probably lost the road in the storm and came down the embankment.
He might have actually just given the only theory that is more ridiculous than serial killer who's been in a coma for 10 years, wakes up and brutally murders everyone in the ambulance and escapes.
Michael could have been thrown from the bus.
Well, he was in an ambulance, not a bus. It's as if a line of dialogue from 2018's Halloween went back in time and somehow ended up in this script. I'm now really curious to see exactly how Michael walked all the way to wherever this auto repair shop is without drawing attention from anyone. After Michael stabbed that dude a minute ago, why did he even bother hoisting him up with chains? Was it so the body could be discovered in a cinematic way? Why isn't Michael already in his stolen tow truck and driving to Haddonfield? Why is he hanging around killing everyone in sight and cutting phone lines? Did he know Loomis was going to conveniently show up at this location? Did Michael read the script?
If you want another victim, take me. But leave those people in peace.
After telling Dr. Hoffman that he was dumb for thinking of Michael as a human being, Loomis now tries to talk to Michael like he's a human being.
God damn you.
First up, I don't know what he thinks gunshots are going to do at this point. Second off, the movie is edited in such a way that it looks like Loomis believes he shot Michael, but it never provides us proof that bullets actually hit Michael. He just kind of disappears in the editing. So I don't know why the movie is now acting like this is some stunning reveal that Michael isn't writhing in pain in the kitchen right now. I know this has been brought up before, but I still don't know how Michael knows how to drive cars. And until one of these movies shows him jack into the Matrix to learn how, it will always feel sinful to me. What? Oh, sweet. Apparently when you're in Illinois, there's a sign that points all the way to Lehigh, Utah.
Jamie's mommy's a mommy. Stop it, okay? Stop it! Jamie's an orphan. Jamie's an orphan.
Stephen King was like, I bet you can't out-bully my bullies. And Halloween 4 screenwriters were like, hold my butcher knife, asshole.
You remember Lindsay, don't you?
Lindsay.
Hey, wait, why don't you go ahead and make your move? Don't rush me, Brady. Timing's gotta be primo.
Movie has time for whatever the this nonsense is. A town that had a string of murders 10 years ago, committed by a man wearing this style of mask, still chooses to sell this style of mask at the discount mart. Costumes this good being sold at a drugstore on the day of Halloween. Oh wow, the exact costume worn by Michael Myers at the beginning of the original movie. Who does the purchase orders at this store? The screenwriter?
Don't get angry.
I'm not angry.
At the very least, Brady, you look dazed and confused. This horrible skull decoration says, hang for freet. And the closest thing I can find for freet is something to do with omens or superstitions. But it's a Scottish word, and it's super unusual, and nobody in Illinois would know what that means. And I've spent entirely too much time on this. Michael is actually in this scene and at the store currently stealing a mask. That means that a fully bandaged person walked into the store a minute ago and nobody noticed, which we're supposed to believe because the people who work here are high school dumbasses. But they almost certainly would have seen him and would have been curious about him and probably got killed before Rachel and Jamie even showed up, not to mention all the customers wandering around the place. Also stealing. This movie definitely needs to show us Loomis's failed attempt at hitchhiking because it needs to pad the runtime.
You're hunting it, ain't you? Yeah, you're hunting it all right. Just like me.
It's as if Halloween looked at Friday the 13th and thought, the one thing we're missing is a Crazy Ralph. And if we put a Crazy Ralph in Halloween 4, it will make it that much better. And spoiler alert, it did not.
I've been hunting the bastard for 30 years, give or take. Come close a time or two. too damn close.
Since this preacher is not talking about Michael Myers, I want to know what he's been hunting and has come too close to over the years, and I wish I was watching that movie instead.
The beautiful, beautiful river.
It was at this point that Donald Pleasance thought to himself, I was in The Great Escape, goddammit!
Come on, Jamie, you're gonna miss all the good candy.
Jesus Christ, it's been literally 30 seconds since Jamie went upstairs to put on the costume. I know this because after Jamie started running up the stairs, the movie went into a completely unbroken shot where we watched Rachel go to the phone and try to call Brady. And it never cut until Rachel scolded Jamie for taking so long. Also, why did they wait so long? Looks like the Carruthers prepared dinner at an hour that would have made them late no matter what, since we saw Jamie cleaning plates and then left right after that. Also, it seems weird that the house with the decorations out in front and people still inside hasn't been visited by one trick-or-treater since the movie cut to the Carruthers house. They aren't even equipped for trick-or-treaters if they show up anyway, but how does everyone in the neighborhood know that? Is that a picture of Michael dressed up in a clown costume? Are we supposed to think this is the clown costume he was wearing when he murdered his older sister, Judith? What the f*** are these pictures Lori left with Jamie?
I need to speak with Sheriff Brackett.
Well, then you'll have to travel about 3,000 miles south of here. Move to St. Petersburg.
I don't know exactly where Haddonfield is located in Illinois, but I do know that there is no spot in Illinois that is 3,000 miles from St. Petersburg.
Michael Myers has escaped from Richmond.
That's impossible. Michael Myers is an invalid.
This guy made a big deal about knowing who Sam Loomis was before Loomis even told him his name. And despite Loomis being right about everything 10 years ago, he's ready to write this off just because Loomis is annoying.
6 bodies. Sheriff, that's what I've seen between here and Richmond. A filling station in flames.
And even though Sheriff Meeker is super skeptical, these shouting words from a raging lunatic work.
The hell can we do to avoid a repeat of 10 years ago?
Find this little girl, get her someplace safe.
Sure, that might save Jamie, but how would that avoid a repeat of 10 years ago? Michael killed a bunch of people who weren't even related to Laurie in the first 2 movies, so a repeat of 10 years ago is likely regardless of Jamie's status.
That clown costume's really cool.
Are you f***ing kidding me? The same bully is suddenly nice and likes Jamie's, let's be honest, super lame clown costume for some reason? Oh, I'm the bully now?
Hi, Rachel.
Let me get this straight. The guy Rachel is in love with, Brady, and the girl who works at the store with him, Kelly, went home together to f***, but also decided they would take care of trick-or-treaters? And they just happened to be in the same neighborhood? Ah, bars. According to Hollywood, the best place to watch news in the entire world.
We're going to bed. Phone never just rings at a police station.
Then why wouldn't you just go check on the police station instead of going to Ben's? Redneck Brigade reasonings are always solid, especially when said redneck brigades have been drinking. America. Why the f*** is Michael even here at the power station? I mean, he went to the house where Jamie lives, confirmed that she lives there, and instead of waiting for her to come back, he just goes out to f*** with the power? If he's being tactical, why didn't he do this before going to Jamie's house? Also, Michael Myers, who has been in a goddamn coma for the past 10 years, has managed to make his way to a car shop in Richmond, kill all the people there, steal a car, drive a tow truck 4 hours to Haddonfield, and break into the discount mart in the middle of the day and steal a mask. He then still has the wherewithal and energy after being in a goddamn coma for the past 10 years to make sure he cuts the long-distance phone lines.
Can't get long distance, Sheriff.
To take out the police station, as we will eventually find out, and is now going to take out all the town's power. I guess that 10 years sleep re-energized him and made him a much better planner. This mask. Is the movie implying that after Michael cut the power to the town, that he went to this random house just in case Jamie and or Rachel might show up? Or is the cameraman just being creepy? How lucky for Michael that Jamie and Rachel got separated and are now literally the only 2 people walking the streets of Haddonfield. I guess he had a strategy to make all that work out for him too. Michael's got plans, yo. Also, it's amazing to me how abandoned this town got in a matter of seconds with absolutely no police helping out with the curfew and with no phones available. Ah, Dwayne Johnson.
Jamie?
It's weird to me that Rachel is checking behind houses which appear to have no one at home in them instead of, walking along the streets where Jamie might have been trick-or-treating.
Whoever you are, I have a big dog with me and he bites.
Jamie Lloyd? More like Jamie lied. I'm going to stick with that. It's not as dumb as what she just said. This is the second time in this movie that the characters are looking at something that the movie doesn't want to show you. We get a clear shot at one guy dressed as Michael Myers, then we get an out-of-focus shot behind the sheriff of another Michael Myers that the movie will never once show clearly.
Oh, that was great. You thought it was me, didn't you? Sheriff!
So the curfew was called, let's say an hour ago, and that time, these 2 just happened to have Michael Myers masks lying around hoping they could play a prank on the sheriff. Since the town has basically been abandoned for the last 15 minutes, these guys were really hoping beyond hope that there was someone still left to scare out here. The fucking 80s, man. Apparently, Michael went on a killing spree at the police station, and the movie did not want to show it whatsoever. And it's pretty amazing no one even tried to radio the sheriff when the precinct was under attack.
The hell are we dealing with?
Dude, you were the one who told Loomis that you didn't want a repeat of what happened 10 years ago. How do you not know what you're dealing with?
And I'll handle this my own way.
Movie inspires the entire plot of Halloween Kills.
Then,
I just heard about the station.
And apparently Michael knew that Logan would hear about the station and contact Ben. Then Ben would tell Logan to get to his house, inadvertently giving Michael a lift, and then Michael could kill Jamie. Michael already had eyes on Jamie and Rachel when Loomis and the sheriff picked them up. Why didn't he just stay on them then? Him keeping up with the car on foot makes more sense than him dreaming up this plan to tag along to the sheriff's house in the backseat of Logan's car. Also, Michael is a big guy and not even trying to hide in the back seat. I guess it's possible Logan doesn't look in his rearview mirror or behind him once on the drive to Sheriff Meeker's house. Do I believe it though? No. This movie goes out of its way to show every step Michael takes to get where he's going. And this decision somehow brings up even more questions than it would if we were just led to believe Michael could magically appear whenever he wanted to. Also, Ben Meeker is the sheriff, and he's the only other living cop in the town apparently. So who the told the deputy about the police station? Also times 3. The deputy leaves the house without leaving a note to the parents or anything.
Come on, let's call the Carters. Come on, call the Carters.
Thinking Jay-Z and Beyonce would help you in this situation.
It's Ted Hollister.
This is definitely what's going to happen when you get a bunch of liquored up dumbasses with rifles to mete out street justice. So that's definitely a sin. But I'm also going to send Ted Hollister for whatever dirty business he was doing in the bushes on Halloween night. Also, this asshole movie doesn't even cast someone to be Ted Hollister, and we never even see a body. So in the end, what can I say but f*** Ted Hollister? Also, no one will have to pay for the murder of Ted Hollister.
Let's go upstairs. Huh? No. I think we're doing just fine right here.
Choosing to f*** on the floor when there is an option to f*** on a bed.
Oh, yeah. I'll catch you rope my daughter. I'll use that shotgun on you. You understand?
When Brady asked Sheriff Meeker what was going on, Meeker told him,
You want to tell me what's happening?
Yeah, when I have time.
But Meeker apparently did have time to throw in a dad threatens teenage daughter's suitor cliche. Hey, that's super weird that the back door's open on the car when I never opened it. Oh well, it's not like a serial killer who's been in a coma for the past 10 years could have been hiding in the back seat and I just gave him a ride over to his intended victim. That would be f***ing stupid. Guess I'll ignore this. Also, Michael Myers, on top of being a notorious serial killer, is an asshole who leaves the car door open. Also, how did Michael even get the back door to open from the inside? This is a police car. Can't open the back doors from the inside of a police car. Movie doesn't know how to police car correctly. How many f***ing times am I going to say police car?
Michael Myers.
Who's that?
In a movie where even little kids know who Michael Myers is, why doesn't this asshole? Did he just move here from Florida over the summer or something?
Who's there?
I'm less curious about Michael Myers now and way more curious about this sentient door in Sheriff Meeker's house that knows how to perfectly time a jump scare.
Yo, this is Frank Butte over in Tuckerville. You got some kind of emergency?
I'm still floored that it takes a sheriff calling from a radio in his house to inform the state troopers what's going on in this town. Haddonfield apparently has its own local TV news station, and you can't tell me that the reporters around here wouldn't have heard about the police station massacre and quickly found a way to contact other media and law enforcement outside the area. I know it's 1988, but more importantly, it's not 1488.
Is this some kind of Halloween prank?
This is no joke. We need those troopers and we need them now.
All right, I'll get the troopers right away.
If this guy thought Meeker might be pulling a prank on him, then how did Meeker's answer change his mind that quickly? Meeker didn't have to give a badge number or anything, and this Frank guy is sending in the troops.
At your other's house. That's where Jamie lives. That's where he'll go.
How is Loomis so certain about this? Michael found her house without even knowing where she lived in the first place, or what she even looked like. So we have to start thinking supernatural bullshit at this point, which means Michael could simply be drawn to Jamie through familial telepathy. Look, Michael isn't breaking into a government office with a flashlight and a spy camera to track people down, okay?
Maybe nobody knows how to stop him. But I've got to try.
Traditional methods of killing Michael don't work. Reasoning doesn't work. I know what you're thinking right now, Dr. Loomis, but it's way too late to construct a Rube Goldberg machine at this hour.
I didn't know you and Brady had anything, okay?
Skip.
Hey, I got a town full of beer bellies running around in the dark with shotguns. Who's gonna be next?
Sheriff, your deputy has absolutely no idea what you're talking about. You just found out the news about Ted Hollister, and you didn't tell the deputy about it, so he's probably wondering who those drunken assholes shot right about now. Actually, he seems very incurious about it, so never mind. Here's some fucking high-octane bullshit right here. Once again, the movie doesn't want to show the kill for some reason. So now we have to wonder how Michael got into the house, snuck up on the deputy, killed him without making a sound, and dragged his body over by the candles knowing that someone would light a match for a cinematically horrific reveal. Kelly conveniently doesn't scream so that this movie can continue telling the story that no one is hearing this shit. This movie seems like it's going for a PG-13 rating, even though there was no chance in hell it was going to get one. There have been more off-screen kills than on-screen kills, and the ones we do see, like this one, are shot and edited in such a way to make it less brutal. Or is it fewer brutal? Rachel, who was downstairs by herself, talking on the radio, would make an easy victim for Michael right now, but he decides against it because Halloweezens.
Oh, God.
Rachel checks one room upstairs and doesn't bother with any others before heading immediately back downstairs. We last saw Brady in the attic trying to fortify it, but now he shows up from downstairs, apparently having missed all the killing that was going on down there.
Is another key?
Hey man, I don't like it any more than you do, but have you considered checking the dead deputy's pockets?
It's metal! God damn it, it's metal!
What does that mean?
Also, does he really not want to check the other doors in the house?
Jamie.
Oh, Rachel!
Hey kid, did you not hear Rachel up here a minute ago looking for you? You were looking for her, right?
Brady!
Get up there, Rachel!
Brady!
Get up there, Rachel!
This scene goes on like this for all the Michael Myers walk slowly up the stairs time. I could stab you with this rifle, but nah, that's already been done. I don't like repeating myself.
Leave us alone! God, leave us alone!
I would give all the sins back if Michael replied with, "Oh, you want to be left alone? All right then," and then left town. No one will be seated while Michael removes boxes and luggage from his path up the stairs. Rachel ends up being such a strong character who is easy to root for. I'm glad they don't let her survive this just to have her get brutally murdered in the opening sequence of Halloween 5. Glad that never happens.
I'm gonna lower you down, Jamie.
Michael gives Rachel and Jamie time to whip up this homemade harness. Freeze frame fun! This is so obviously not Danielle Harris, but they never once thought that assholes would look for stuff like this and declare it a massive failure on their part. Do you ever think Michael is disappointed when someone dies in a manner that he didn't intend? Does Michael feel disappointment? Also, Rachel's back and legs survived this. Michael apparently during his 10-year coma attended the Jason Voorhees School of Teleporting, because that is the only explanation I can think of for how he got off the roof and next to Jamie so quickly.
I just want to go home!
No, you can't. I've just been there. That's the first place he looked for you.
You said that 15 minutes ago, and Michael clearly went after Jamie at the Meeker place. I'm beginning to realize why everyone hates Loomis. Also, it's pretty funny to me that he was at Jamie's house this whole time and then just got a notion to leave there for basically no reason. Maybe he heard Jamie screaming or something. But this movie doesn't do a very good job of explaining the layout of this neighborhood. And I demand that horror movies have a cartographer's sense of geography. Also, if Loomis was just at Jamie's house, then where are Mr. and Mrs. Carruthers? We saw they had gotten home earlier. I don't know. If it's me, the security alarm going off at the school would make that place no longer viable. I knew Michael would show up eventually, but what? Also, where the f*** did this mask come from? Is that blonde hair? Michael must be really supernatural if he can get his mask hair to go blonde. Rachel was still knocked out when Jamie ran into Loomis, so how did Rachel know they had come to the school?
In the school!
If I shot an innocent person dead, I guess I wouldn't have the motivation to do much of anything after that. But these guys are drunk enough that this doesn't affect them whatsoever.
Let the troopers have it. That's what they get paid for.
The vigilantes who don't trust the cops to do their jobs when it comes to Michael Myers suddenly think trusting the cops is a good idea. This yahoo thinking that firing guns as police officers approach is a good idea. The only way for this to make sense... makes sense. Anyway, the only way for this to work is that Michael had to get underneath the truck back at the school and has just been waiting, I guess, until he deemed the right moment to attack. I don't understand how he got out of the school and under the truck before or after Jamie and Rachel came out without Earl and his goons knowing. But more importantly, I don't know why Michael didn't just attempt his first attack back at the school. Did he think that this would be more cinematic? Nobody ever screams when they see Michael. They're just stunned. And none of the commotion on the back of the truck alerts anybody about the struggle going on, including a guy who's just standing there. The movie finally shows a gross kill, which is much too late for my bloodlust. But the sin here is for the cut to the wide shot. We know Jamie and Rachel are in the front of the truck, but they're nowhere to be seen here. It almost looks like another Michael Myers is sitting next to Earl, helping the other Michael Myers kill him.
Die. Son of a bitch!
Hey, that's Jamie's grandmother you're talking about, Rachel. We see 4 lonely cop cars show up to the scene where Rachel and Jamie are, so what the f*** is this truck that comes out of nowhere when the sheriff stops to talk to Rachel? Is that more lynch mob people, separate from the other drunken lynch mob? Also, the sheriff initially left his house to stop the lynch mob, so I find it hilarious that he suddenly has a whole bunch of other vigilantes around town helping him right now. Just gonna go ahead and give a he survives this sin for Halloween 5 because I'm already pissed off just thinking about it. Oh yes, of course. Once you kill Michael Myers, the ground just turns into a sudden sinkhole and buries him. Yes, this is a reality that the movie did a good job of establishing. Yes. Also, this mask. So, how long do candles and jack-o'-lanterns last anyway? And don't for 1 minute tell me they re-candled those motherfuckers.
Michael Myers is in hell.
Buried where he belongs.
I want to slap Sam Loomis for being this goddamn confident about the status of Michael Myers.
I'm going to take Jamie upstairs. Stay with Rachel.
And maybe let her clean the blood off her face. Also, might want to make sure she's not bleeding internally or anything. She fell off a fucking roof. This is a nice twist, having Jamie infected by the Michael Myers curse, and it's a fun homage to the original Halloween. I'm going to remove a sin, but it almost makes me want to add a sin for Halloween 5 when they decide to scrap the implications of this ending. But there will be plenty of time to do that when we get to Halloween 5. No.
At the beginning, I said I was going to tell you about the time I almost died.
Jesus.
Listen, pal, Jesus ain't no virgin.
I think tonight Brady was ready to make a commitment.
Then I guess we'll just have to have sex at your mother's.
You're hunting it, ain't you?
You never know who you might pick up. I mean, I could be some crazed slime ball. I mean, a real deranged, violent psycho, you know what I mean? I mean, a guy who would rip your heart out and eat it just for pleasure!
Don't make fun. Tonight is the difference between vacations in Bermuda, spending another 2 weeks with your grandmother in Cleveland.
Cleveland? Uh-huh. That's a perfect weird name for this planet.
I am Ernst Stavro Blofeld.
Folks around here aren't likely to forget your face.
They told me you were assassinated in Hong Kong.
How much is it?
It'll be $18.
Here you go. Keep the change. Hi, doggy.
I got an explanation.
All I'm saying is I just want to look back and say that I did it the best I could while I was stuck in this place. Dogged as many chicks as I could when I was stuck in this place.
Who are you calling?
Happy birthday!
How can a man do this, Loomis? Tell me.
'Tis no man, 'tis a remorseless eating machine.
God help us.
You God, not today, bitch!
You know the kind of guy who does nothing but bad things and then wonders why his life sucks? I'm just trying to be a better person. My name is Earl.